need to relax a little bit.
Excuse me?
I have standards.
Yeah, well,
What is the soft girl era? The soft girl era is an era that encourages you to depart yourself from the hustle and bustle and constant drive of work. Without the need to impress others, without the need to constantly explain yourself or why you're doing things the way that you're doing it, you're just doing things that make you happy and things that fulfill you and allow you to flow in this soft girl era. This video is not to disregard your definition of what being a soft girl is. Everyone has their own way of living and their own way of being in their soft girl era. Now that we went over that, let's review tip number 1. Beautify your life, not just internally but externally. Make sure that you're eating colorful foods and foods that are more like on the lighter side in order to make you feel good. I know that this is something that I do in order to feel soft and feel more lighter in my life. Foods like fruits, vegetables, drinks like water and sparkling water that make me feel more refreshed in life. Now, this is not to say don't eat junk food, don't eat foods that are delicious and are like chocolatey and good. Being a soft girl is understanding that you know your boundaries. You know what you're not going to eat on a specific day. You know what workouts you're not going to do this day because you don't want it having you feel tired. You don't want it to have you feeling drained. You don't want it to take away from your prana and your life force. So you decide to eat foods that benefit you, and you also aren't afraid to incorporate foods that are more so on the delectable side. Now that we have reviewed the internal ways to beautify your life, let's tap into the external ways that we use to beautify our lives. Don't be afraid to buy yourself flowers. Don't be afraid to light a candle. Don't be afraid to take a nice bath with roses and flowers filled inside of it. Just because you know it'll make you feel good on the outside. It'll have you smelling good. It'll have you attracting opportunities that you didn't know that you were able to attract just being in your soft girl era. I know there's moments in our life where we feel like we have to be extremely tough and address a certain way in order to appeal to what we want and get what it is that we want out of life, but that's not 100% true. Don't be afraid to take that break. Don't be afraid to take that trip. Don't be afraid to, even if it's like a short distance trip, don't be afraid to go out there and travel and do things that you love. Being a soft girl means that it doesn't matter how much you spend on whatever occasion it is that you're wanting to indulge yourself in. You understand that whatever you're doing is allowing you to be soft. So whether it is spending $100, spending $1,000, spending $5, it doesn't matter because it all is flowing from a place of you being in your soft girl era and doing things that you love. It's important to find out what is good for you, what is healthy for you, what is something that you love doing on a regular daily basis that makes you feel soft. That brought me into tip number 2. Spend more time with yourself, enjoying the present moment. I know that spending time with other people, spending time with family, friends, and people that just bring us 100% happiness and allow us to even be in the soft girl era is 100% good, but don't forget that there's no them without you. You must nurture your needs. You must put your needs first before wanting to even nurture someone else, just because you know that when you're 100% fully charged, you'll be able to give to your loved ones. You'll be able to make sure that your relationship flourishes because ultimately it all begins with you. It all starts with you. Spending time with yourself can be something as small as taking a trip, taking a small walk, shopping, painting, meditating, journaling, doing things that you love doing, and making sure that you are filling your cup up, like light a candle, do things that bring you joy. I know that we all have been there to the point where we were that one girl that didn't have hobbies outside of their relationships, clinging on to people outside of us for validation, for wanting to fit in, for wanting them to view us a certain way. And we need to start to understand that honestly, people's opinions of us don't matter. How other people feel about us don't matter. And 100% what matters is what we feel and how we are showing up in the world, and also how we're showing up for ourselves. We're not letting ourselves get to the point where we feel like we're nothing just because other people don't see us or view us in a certain way. We're just always there for ourselves. We're compassionate with ourselves. We are caring. We are surrounding ourselves by love just by nurturing ourselves. Treat your mind, treat your body as if it is a palace, and trust me, everything will go the way it's supposed to go, especially being in the soft girl era. Swim away from situations that don't serve you. Don't seek anyone's approval because honestly, confidence comes with time and practice. It's okay to sit at home and watch those videos of those girls taking care of themselves on YouTube, but when are you going to create your own story for yourself? When are you going to be the princess of your own story, the queen of your own story? When are you going to start doing that? We have to start doing that. that. We have to stop looking outside of ourselves to ask people like, what should I do? Where should I go? Where should I put my life? And ultimately, people don't matter. It's not about that. Something lovely will grow from whatever it is that you just went through. And it's okay to feel down on some days, but you have to know that you have to make yourself your own first priority. You must forgive yourself. And even if you already have forgive yourself, give yourself another chance. Give yourself another chance to take another trip, to do something else, to go another way, to invest in your career, to invest in your future. Treat yourself like royalty, okay? And listen, don't doubt your worth. So make sure that you're taking time out to clear your energy and to clear where you are just alone by yourself. And don't be afraid to ignore messages. Don't be afraid to tell people that you're just needing a little bit more time for yourself. You're just needing a little bit of you time. Don't be afraid to tell people that. Being with yourself will allow you to see who is really for you and who isn't. And don't be afraid to start something new. Don't be afraid to start implementing new routines and new self-care routines that you want to do in your life. Know that it's never too late to stand up for yourself. It's never too late for you to drop the baggage. It's never too late for you to start overcoming obstacles. It's never too late for you to see yourself in a different light. Put yourself in a better position and start loving on yourself and caring for yourself, not just externally, but internally as well. This is not to disregard people that are around you. Ask for support if that's something that you really need. Ask for guidance. Don't be afraid to talk to your ancestors. Don't be afraid to dream. Don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid to transform. It all boils down to you being the queen of your palace. It all boils down to you knowing that you do have options in your soft girl era. It all boils down to you knowing that honestly, you are the weaver of your destiny. You are the one who is making the decisions in your life. You are the one that is showing compassion for yourself, even on days when you feel like you're a little too indecisive. Don't be afraid to do the shadow work. Don't be afraid to put yourself first. Don't be afraid to be afraid. Like, don't be afraid. Just in general, don't be afraid. Be soft. Be yourself. And that takes me into tip number 3. The art of assumption. Expect the absolute best out of your situation and where you are. Even if you feel like, oh, I'm just not in a good place right now, I'm down, I need more compassion, I need more love. Don't be afraid to expect the absolute best out of whatever you're deciding to put yourself into. I know it can be fearful to step outside of your comfort zone and put yourself in places that are higher, and you just feel like you're not experienced in that new hobby that you've been taking up on, that new course that you just finally enrolled yourself into. You have to know that you have the vision. You have to know that inevitably, whatever it is that you assume for your life, it will automatically be. That is something that is made for you. The art of assumption has definitely helped me out with my soft girl era because it has allowed me to fall back and without needing to 100% be logical about where I want to direct my life or where I want my plans to go, where I want my projects to go. I just 100% assume the best. I assume that I will attract the audience that is fully for me. I assume that my family and friends that will support me on my every endeavor. I assume that I will attract friends and partnerships that are truly meant for me. I assume that, hey, tomorrow the sun will shine. I just always assume the best for myself. I always assume the best. I know that sometimes it can be hard to get outside of our heads. It can be hard to accept ourselves, but we must know that when things don't go our way, we must assume that it happened for the best. We must assume that, hey, that is the universe on my side. We must assume that, hey, I have the courage to keep going and I will keep going. We must assume that, hey, everything is in balance. Everything in my life is balanced. I am deserving of balance. I do deserve that nice relationship. I do deserve everything that is for me. And sis, I'm not settling for less.